Taylorsville Warriors. We just had a run by Lance Reynolds for about 5 yards. And we're going to get this game going as Lance Reynolds set in the backfield. The reception by number 1, Filete Iongi. That's going to be good for a first down.
There you go, seeing some of those shifty moves early by Filete Iongi, one of the fastest members on the team, making some men miss.
And it's going to be exciting to see how this team goes throughout this game. They're going to be pumped up for senior night. This is the last home game for the Tigers in this regular season, and it is a pink out in honor of that. Lance Reynolds with trips to his right gets ready to take the snap at the 44-yard line.
Going back to the pink out, you love to see the student section full of all those pink shirts and hats and whatever else they have pink.
Lance Reynolds takes the snap, looking to his right. He has Asher Young. And it's going to be a gain of 0 on that play. Nothing going there.
No gain on the play. Second down.
Yeah, and sorry for the slow start, just having some technical difficulties that we've been figured out. It's a beautiful night here at Orem, and I'm excited to see how these teams play tonight. Both are fighting for playoff position. Lance Reynolds getting ready to take the snap, trips to his left side, takes a snap motion, throws to his halfback in motion. That's going to be good for a first down. It was number 1, Filete Iongi.
Seeing more of that speed off the edge of that catch is awesome. Seeing Filete get a quick start is hopefully he can carry that momentum throughout the game and have some bigger plays.
And that's the thing
Orem
has needed throughout this year is big plays to get going early. If they don't get those big plays, their offense tends to stall later in the game. Lance Reynolds with motion from Conrad, a rush up the middle from number 1, Filete Iongi, and he's got some room, and he's going to take it to the house for a touchdown from the 42-yard line. That's going to be a 38-yard touchdown.
And those are some of those big plays that we're talking about here. Filete showing more speed right up the middle this time, not around the edge, and getting in for that touchdown. What more can you ask for in a first drive start from the Tigers?
And Orem is off to a great start, as you said, and it looks like they might be going for 2, trying to get Taylorsville, keeping them on their toes, maybe get off to an early lead.
Yeah.
And as they audible back into this kicking formation, we'll see, looks like Eniasi Matina for the PAT. And that's going to be good, making it 7-0 with 9 minutes and 43 seconds left in this first quarter. So what are you excited to see? My name's Gavin. I'm here with McCade, and we're excited to be here.
Welcome, welcome. Honestly, what I'm excited to see in this game is to see how Orem recovers after a tough loss against Timview last week. I want to see if their defense can do anything better because their defense was a little lackluster last week, getting kind of run over by Timview. So we'll see if their Timview comes back. Their defense comes back, and looks like their offense is already back and off to a hot start. Let's see if they can carry out throughout the game.
Just a couple plays into that drive with an explosive start, and we didn't even see any of Roger Saliapaga on that drive. That's a player to watch. He's had his fingerprints all over this season, and he should have another big night tonight.
He had quite a big play last week against the T-Birds. He had a, I believe, 78-yard touchdown catch.
And it is number 22 to kick the ball off.
Number 3 for Taylorsville to receive.
And the ball is off. Good kick. It's going to be fielded on the left side of the field at about the 7. Taking it to his right side, and he's going to be finally brought down at about the 25-yard line.
Boston Hendry with the tackle, one of the captains for this team. He's been having a great season.
And also another one of the many OHS seniors who are playing their last home game of the regular season. And as this defense comes onto the field, we're going to need to see some better run defense this week.
Definitely.
As Timpview ran over them last week in a 62-42 loss.
There's nothing that Orem did to stop him.
Taylorsville takes snap. It's just going to be a run up the middle, and he's going to be brought down immediately, just getting back to the line of scrimmage.
That's exactly what you want to see, stopping the run off the bat.
And Orem is going to need to have this defense step up early, as they had a shot against Timpview. There's not many high school games where you see where you score 42 points and you end up losing.
That is true.
Orem's defense wasn't able to force a punt until the fourth quarter of the game. Taylorsville getting ready to take the snap. Motion. It's a jet sweep, and he's going to be brought down immediately, getting a yard on the play, bringing 3rd and 9.
More of that run defense and predicting the run, predicting the jet sweep from the wide receiver there was a great call.
And we have Cole Kramer for Taylorsville, the starting quarterback. And Taylorsville has had a rough year throughout this year. They've played Jordan in a common opponent. They beat him by 7. Orem beat him by 53. So we'll see how this Taylorsville team is able to compare as Taylorsville gets ready to take the snap. It looks like we have an offsides penalty on Orem. Looked like a blitz, and the linebacker just got too antsy.
Went a little bit early.
He recognized the play, was ready to blow it up, just couldn't hold off. Was a bit early.
Looking like Troy Polamalu out there.
We'd
Troy
love to see
Polamalu is
it.
always ready to jump and tackle the quarterback immediately, but in high school, I think he jumped the gun a little bit.
And so it'll bring up a 3rd and 4 instead of a 3rd and 9, a costly penalty for the Tigers, taking it from a more difficult 3rd down to 3rd and manageable. Taylorsville taking the snap. Quarterback looking to his right, and it's going to be a high pass, incomplete. Here comes 4th down. So we've seen everything we wanted to on this Orem defense throughout this drive, except for penalties. Throughout this year, penalties have played a big factor in keeping the Tigers off the field on offense, and their defense has to continue to stay on the field.
Yeah, there's been a big problem with penalties, especially in the most recent weeks against some tough division rivals. We'll see if they can clean up a little bit tonight.
Taylorsville getting ready to punt. Filete Iyongi ready for it. And it's going to be blocked. It is going to be blocked, and it will roll out at about the 11-yard line. Orem off to a hot start, playing both well on special teams, offense, and defense. What more can you ask for?
Not much at this point, because Orem's shutting them down on defense. Orem's scored on offense, and on special teams, they just blocked that kick to give them amazing starting field position. And what do you think this is going to happen on this drive? Do you think it's going to go to Filete Iyongi with a run, Conrad Tatua? Or do you think they're going to try to get the passing game a little bit more started?
You know, I'm sticking with the run game since you're so close to the end zone, and it's been working for you throughout the game. But if they stuff you on 1st down, take a shot into the end zone, and we'll see what they do. Lance Reynolds taking the snap. It's going to be a run up the middle from Conrad Tatua, and he's going to be just short of the goal line for about looks like a 10-yard gain.
Just short of the chains as well. Actually, no. He did get the 1st down, so it makes it a 1st and goal.
And you love to see it. This rushing offense off to a wonderful start, and it will bring up 1st and goal at the 2-yard line. We'll see if the Tigers can punch it in. Tigers line up in a shotgun formation with backs on both sides. Motion to the right side, as number 2, Filete Iyongi tries to run off the field. we have a flag on Orem High.
Penalty against the Tigers for an illegal substitution.
A illegal substitution will cost them 5 yards, making it first and goal at the 7-yard line.
Second and goal.
And that has been the one thing to criticize throughout this short start to the game. 2 penalties in 5 minutes. Not what you want to see.
Orem really wants to clean that up, as they set up here.
Lance Reynolds getting ready to take the snap. Split backs. He'll hand it off up the middle. That's Conrad Tautua, and he's going to finish lunging into the end zone, and that'll make it 13-0 Orem High.
And what a play from the senior. You love to see it.
7 yards for the Tiger. Touchdown.
Beautiful play from Conrad.
Getting a touchdown on senior night. He's definitely going to pump him up for the rest of the night.
Yes. We love to see it, and he had a beautiful second effort on the play to get back into the end zone, diving in. Orem showing a little bit of 2-point conversion. They'll go for it, and they're going to get it as Canel Sweetwine throws a pass to number 2. Not sure of the name on that. Give me just 1 second. That is going to be Kawe Akana.
2-point conversion is good.
A beautiful, beautiful start. 15-0 Orem. Not much to criticize. Nothing but good throughout this game other than those penalties.
Let's see if they can keep carrying it throughout the game. Their momentum is definitely going to give them an up on Taylorsville. We'll see if Taylorsville can come back with anything to respond to those 2 quick touchdowns off the bat and the blocked kick, blocked punt, as Orem sets up on the field for the kickoff.
For more information, go to Intermountain Sport.
And there's not much more you can ask for as this team is running out onto the field. We'll see what they can do. I mean, I'm excited. Sky's the limit right now for this game as we've had some tough losses in the last couple weeks.
I'm excited to see what Orem can do.
Orem getting ready to kick the ball off. Looks like there might be a little confusion on the play. Getting ready to kick this thing off. And we're getting ready to get this one off. Kawe Akana to kick this off. He just had the conversion reception, and he'll kick that one off, going to the right side of the field. It's going to be fielded at the 2-yard line. Orem coming in, and they're going to get the tackle inside Taylorsville's 15-yard line.
And you've seen a lot of those big open field tackles that Orem's getting, and those tackles are the hardest as a penalty flag does roll onto the field close to the end after the play.
And we'll see what this one is. Not quite sure until they signal as they talk about it. You immediately go for a block in the back penalty on the receiving team or perhaps a face mask.
Penalty flag on the return.
Looks like it's going against Taylorsville.
Not quite sure.
Penalty against the Warriors on the return.
Not quite sure what the penalty is. Looks like it may have been a block in the back, and that will give Taylorsville the ball at their own 7-yard line. And we've seen safeties before this year. Let's see if Orem can get one tonight. Taylorsville has trips to his left with his running back on his left hip. It's just going to be a run up the middle, going nowhere. Tackled by number 77, Alex Hansen, another one of those seniors.
Looking to make a show tonight.
Playing well. Immediately got into the backfield, and that is going to be a tackle for a 4-yard loss, bringing Taylorsville to their own 3-yard line. And this defense is looking tough, as they have not given up many yards in this first 2 drives from Taylorsville. Taylorsville getting ready to take the snap. In his own end zone, looking to the right, pressure coming. He's got a man, but it's going to be high, sailing over the receiver's head. Bringing up 3rd and 13 from their own 3-yard line.
On Orem not letting anything through on this defense. Honestly, probably what we would have wanted to see last week, but last week came up with a big loss. Orem's coming back with some fury, not looking to get one of those again.
13 yards to go
And Orem, with that tough loss, as you mentioned, against Timpanogos, one of the regional rivals. It was a tight game throughout most of the night, but 2 pick sixes gave them the edge throughout the game, and they won by 20. Taylorsville taking the snap. Pressure coming. He's got a man, and it's going to be dropped. And it'll bring up 4th and 13 for Taylorsville. For punting from their own 3. We'll see if Orem can get another block. We've seen it just barely.
And if they get a block here, you're going to think that's touchdown or safety.
Yes. Not much more, not much better you can ask for from this Orem High defense, as they looked pretty flat-footed last week. But it looks like throughout this week, Gabe Sewell, the head coach for Orem High, has been able to get these guys shaped up. Taylorsville punts it as Orem High doesn't bring much pressure. Falete Iongi is just going to let that one drop, and it's a pretty good punt, taking it to Orem's own 43-yard line. So he flips the field a little bit from Orem, a 40-yard punt.
Not a bad punt.
And we'll see if Taylorsville can stop this Orem offense. This Orem offense is running through them like a freight train right now, both on the rushing side. We've only seen Lance Reynolds, I believe, throw 1 pass, and it was a 13-yard completion to Falete Iongi.
And what I want to see is I want to see them get big man Roger Saliopega involved, and also Asher Young.
Lance Reynolds taking the snap, drops back. He's got some time, throwing it deep to number 3, Asher Young, and it's just too far for him. And that'll be incomplete.
And he did take the shot down deep, threw it a little bit too far, maybe underestimated how far he can throw the football. But another player I want to see get involved is number 18, Cole Johnson, as he's a senior.
Second down.
And we've seen him play earlier through this year with some key touchdowns in earlier games this year. Would love to see him perform well on senior night. Lance Reynolds getting ready to take the snap. It's going to be an option play, and he'll keep it himself, breaking some tackles, and he'll finally be brought down by committee from Taylorsville. And at the moment, it looks like a 7-yard gain.
And that's a good run by Lance Reynolds. He is a good dual threat quarterback out here, throwing some deep passes, getting some good completions, and getting some runs. He's fast up the middle of the field.
And he's got a cannon on that arm, as we've seen throughout this year, just kind of the full package. And he is only a junior for this team, so he's got 1 more year here at Orem. Lance Reynolds with dual receivers on both sides, looking to his right, pressure coming, and he has Roger Saliapaga. And Roger Saliapaga doing what he does best, breaking tackles, and he's got it to the 40-yard line.
Looks like about a 25-yard gain on the play.
Excuse me, to the 31-yard line. And beautiful play from him. Just a short throw, and Roger does what he does best, breaking some tackles, getting the yards after catch. And it was it a 28-yard gain?
I'm not quite sure.
A big gain nonetheless.
And that's what Roger Saliopega gives you out here.
Lance Reynolds taking the snap, looking to his right. He's got number 30 for Orem,
Patrick Hervey.
Starting to see some of the depth come out on Ora's receiving end, as that's going to be a gain of 2 yards. Orem in the huddle as they take the snap, as the ball is at Taylorsville's 29-yard line. Lance Reynolds with 2 halfbacks on both sides. It's going to be a run up the middle from Falete Iongi, and he's got some space. Beautiful open field tackle, but he'll still get about 5 or 6
More
yards
of that
on the carry.
speed and shiftiness. It looked like he was almost going to be taken down right at the line of scrimmage, or maybe possibly behind it, but he bounces off the edge and gets around for a nice gain up the middle.
And this is going to bring up a 3rd and short with 3 minutes and 24 seconds to go in this first quarter.
Score 15-0 for your Orem Tigers.
Lance Reynolds getting ready to take snap. It's going to be immediately a run to number 1, Falete Iangi, and he's got space, and he's going to take that one in for the touchdown.
And more of those runs.
Dude, that kid is fast. He is shifty.
And he's only a sophomore out here. He's got a few more years to improve.
Scratch that scored. It's now 21-0 as Orem gets ready for the PAT or conversion.
And Falete Iangi, he's been showing out a lot this year. Starting as a sophomore, getting some of those big plays. He's had 2 big plays in this game for 2 touchdowns. And he's rushed for a lot of yards. I'm not quite sure what the total yardage is, but it's looked good out here.
Orem getting ready to kick this one on, or kick this one for the PAT, and it is going to be good, making it 22-0 in the first quarter. And this is the best Orem team we have seen throughout this season, at least in this first quarter, as Orem averages about only 7 points in this first opening quarter. Not much to critique. If you clean up the penalties, you've got what seems like a perfect game. Or a perfect quarter. Orem getting ready to kick this one off to Taylorsville. Taylorsville wearing gray pants, white jersey with some gold numbers, and a black helmet. Orem's got the white helmet, white pants, a blue jersey, and some gold numbers. Pretty sleek look for both teams. Can't complain about either jersey.
Definitely not. Orem's doing their usual trickery on the kickoff, looking like they might do an onside kick, then spreading out to do the normal kick.
We good, Carson? Okay.
Orem getting ready to send this one off. And the kick is off. It is going to that left side. Not as good of a kick. It's going to be fielded at the 11-yard line. And he's going to be brought down at
blown up on the play.
26-yard line. Flags flying in.
Big hit by number 17. We'll see if the penalty has anything to do with that hit.
And it is going to be a face mask on Orem High. And that's going to be Orem's 3rd penalty of the quarter, totaling up for a 25 penalty yards. And that's the first thing that you're going to look at and critique. Not much, but those penalty yards come playoff time. You want to get them cleaned up, and you can't settle for them. You can't give them up as you're just shooting yourself in the foot.
Orem definitely has allowed a lot of penalty yardage in these recent weeks.
And we'll see if this gives Taylorsville's offense some momentum, or we'll see if Orem's defense continues to dominate in this game as number 7, Cole Kramer, gets ready to take the snap. He's looking to his right. He's got a receiver on just a little out route, and he's going to get it for the first reception for Taylorsville in this game, and it's going to be about a 6-yard reception.
And Taylorville trying to look like they might be setting up the pass because the run has not been working for them. Orem's have blown up the running plays. So looks like Taylorville might be trying to set up the pass a little bit. Maybe try to get their first down in this game, as Orem has not allowed anything in this first quarter at all.
And it'll bring up 2nd and 5. Taylorsville snapping the ball at their own 47-yard line. Taylorsville in shotgun. Orem showing some blitz. It's going to be a QB keep. A beautiful stiff arm from the quarterback, but we have a flag flying out, and it may be a late hit out of bounds on Orem.
Might be. If not, it's a loss of 2 on the play.
And this Orem defense just swarms. It is going to be a personal foul on Orem, and that'll be a automatic first down for Taylorsville. And it is a late hit out of bounds. And that'll bring the ball to Orem's own 41-yard line. I believe that's a 15-yard penalty. bringing the total up to 40 yards in this opening quarter.
Orem's really got to clean those penalties up. Besides much, I don't see much they can critique, but Orem has been getting quite a few penalties to start off this game. I think it's 4 or 5.
Cole Kramer getting ready to take the snap. Motion to his left, looking for his halfback. We have a flag flying in, and he's going to be tackled by number 22 for Orem's defense. I believe that's Kawe Akana. He is the kickoff specialist for Orem. And it looks like it's going to be a penalty finally on Taylorsville, as one of the flags isn't on Orem.
Let's see what the play was.
It is going to be a false start on Taylorsville, and that's going to bring them back 10 yards and bring them to their own 46-yard line, or Orem's 46-yard line, as it is a penalty for 5 yards, bringing up 1st and 15.
And Taylorsville, they don't want to take after Orem in these penalties. Penalties have allowed a few first downs for Taylorsville and a few better field positioning starts, and Taylorsville just lost 5 yards on that play.
And we've got another flag flying in. Not quite sure what this one is. Waiting for that signal. And correction, that is not going to be a flag. It is going to be a timeout, as the official just threw it to stop play. And with 2 minutes to go, if you're just joining us, Orem is up 22 points, and Taylorsville hasn't been able to put any points on the board. They've had a punt blocked, and the defense has just smothered them throughout the game. Taylorsville starting to build a decent drive on this, getting some offensive momentum on this drive. We'll see if Orem can snuff it out. Brings up 1st and 15 from Orem's 46-yard line. Taylorsville in shotgun. One receiver on his right, 2 on his left. Looking to his right, pressure coming, and he's got some room to run. And he'll slide. The flag comes out as 22, Kawe Akana, hits him while he is sliding. Correction, that is 23 for Orem's defense. Cohen
like
Strickland.
Possibly a hit to the head or late hit on the play, as the quarterback did give himself up and slide to the ground.
And you hate to see it, as those quarterbacks do take some brutal hits as they are sliding. Officials coming up with the signal right now. It is going to be a targeting call on Orem. And that's a big target, big penalty for Orem. That's going to be their 5th of the night and the 3rd 15-yard penalty of this game. It's going to bring them up to their Orem's 25-yard line, and you hate to see it.
This drive has really been blown up on defense, but what has given them such great field positioning is all the penalties.
Taylorsville getting ready to take the snap. Motion to his right from his running back. He's going to take a shot into the end zone, and he's got a man. We've got a flag thrown on the field, but it looks like
incomplete pass.
Incomplete pass. Just he came out with the ball, but I believe it hit the ground. But we may have a pass interference on Orem High.
And Orem's really been, I don't know why they're doing all these penalties. Most of the time you see penalties come out when they can't really stop the plays as much, but Orem's really been blowing up this Taylorsville offense, and the penalties just keep rolling in. I believe that's the 6th or 7th in this first quarter alone.
And that's going to be, like you said, a pass interference. It's going to be a 12-yard penalty as they move from the 25 to the 13-yard line. We've got a timeout on the field from the Tigers, probably to talk about this penalty game. So far in this game, We have 62 penalty yards on 6 penalties, and we're not even done with the first quarter.
And Orem, if they keep allowing all these penalty yardage, it's gonna be a rough game. Taylorsville is gonna get some quick scores if they're just getting yardage off the penalties, and it's possible they'll score, and Orem's gonna have to recover.
Orem's just letting them back in this game, as I don't think anybody had a doubt in their mind that Orem had control of this game at the beginning of the drive. And multiple times throughout this drive, they have given up penalties to give them automatic first downs, as I don't believe they have got one on their own throughout this game.
They have not. Orem's defense has been shutting them down, but the penalties from Orem defense have definitely opened it up after shutting it down.
And we'll see what Taylorsville brings inside the red zone for the first time of this game. Looks like they're in shotgun with a tight end. And it's going to be a quarterback read that is just blown up around where the linebackers line up. It's going to be a gain of 3 yards.
More of that good run defense that we've said we wanted to see from Orem after last week, when Timpview ran all over them and Orem did nothing to stop coming up with the hard loss.
And you like the idea, if you're Taylorsville, bringing out the option, as Orem had a really difficult time defending the option last week against Timpview. Cole Kramer getting ready to take the snap. Pressure coming, and he is going to be able to evade it, throw it to his left side. It's going to be at the feet of his receiver, incomplete pass. And
Close to a dangerous play on that one.
You can credit that incompletion to the defense, as they brought pressure, wasn't allowed to let that quarterback get comfortable.
Bringing pressure while not having another penalty come through is definitely what Orem wants to see, definitely what we want to see, definitely what everyone cheering for Orem wants to see.
And pressure is kind of your first key thing on defense, kind of your foundation for defense. If you can get pressure on the quarterback, you can have some of the worst secondary, but if you can make that quarterback uncomfortable, you have a shot. They're going to take the snap, just a little drop route for a couple yards, and it was 3rd and 7. They're only going to get 5 yards on that play, bringing up a 4th and 2. Eniasi Matina, the punter, on the tackle, and Taylorsville is going to send out their kicking crew. I'm not sure if I personally agree with this call, as you're down 22.
And, I mean, you got to start somewhere. They probably don't want to risk getting stopped again, as Orem has stopped them.
And they'll kick this ball, and it is going to be good. And Taylorsville is on the board after most of the quarter to play. We have 38 seconds to play in this first quarter. The score is 22-3. Your Orem Tigers leading in this one. And there's a ton of things to clean up, and we'll see if Gabe Sewell on this sideline, as he's talking to his team and his defense, is just going to get those penalties cleaned up.
And if those penalties get cleaned up, it will definitely be a much better game for Orem, possibly a bigger game, as not to say that it already hasn't been a big game, but
Orem has control of this one throughout.
Orem has.
We'll see if that lasts, and Orem can't take the pedal off the gas, or Taylorsville will come back and they'll make this one a game. Taylorsville getting ready to kick this one off. Orem has Falete Iongi and Roger Saliepaga deep to return this one.
And we'll see if Roger can get anything started. He had quite a big gain earlier, but he's had a few big games this year. And we'll see if he can get a little bit more involved on this drive.
Taylorsville getting ready to kick this one off. And it's just a little squib kick, and it's going to go out of bounds. Flag comes out, and that'll be just a kickoff error on the kicking team. Not sure if they were trying to go for an onside kick and it was just botched, or a squib and it just didn't work out. Not exactly sure on that one, but that's going to give Orem a pretty good field position to start this drive. And as Orem's offense comes onto the field, we'll see where they respot the ball. Still some confusion on the ball spot. Right now it is at the 35-yard line, and they're just moving it to the left hash, and it looks like that's where it's going to stay.
And Orem starting out with some good field position here. Actually, it looks as if they're moving the ball back, so not as good a field position.
Illegal kick out of bounds, which would spot the ball at the 35-yard line, and then a personal foul against the Tigers, moving the ball back to the 20-yard line where the Tigers begin first and 10.
We have another 15-yard penalty against the Tigers, as it was a personal foul. Didn't specify which. Lance Reynolds throws it to Asher Young on a little bubble screen, and he's got some room and some blockers. Flags fly, but he's off to the races.
Off down the sideline.
And he's going to go into the end zone. We'll see if it stands as we have some flags flying out. And that's going to be an 80-yard reception if this stands. Roger Saliapaga not happy. Looks like it may be a holding, and this one might be coming back.
Which is sad to see after Asher Young did get that reception and that 80-yard touchdown. Big play, what you want to see, but those penalties from Orem bringing that big play back, which is definitely a sad sight. Definitely exciting play for Asher Young that has just been stopped.
And this one is going to be brought back. We'll see where they spot this one. Still haven't quite given us a signal. Looks like it's going to be holding on Orem. And they are going to spot this ball at the 22-yard line.
17-yard line where it's first and 13.
It's going to be first and 13 for the Tigers. Lance Reynolds getting ready to take the snap. I believe that is actually Canal Sweetwine in the backfield as he throws it to Roger Saliapaga. Roger Saliapaga hurdles a man, getting the first down, and he'll take the ball to the original line of scrimmage at the 35-yard line.
Seeing some of that big man athleticism from Roger Saliapaga. I believe he is around 6'5", 6'6". He's a big man out here. He can get the ball, and he is not just big play, tall receiver. He is fast out here. Fast, shifty, making men miss.
And that's going to give Canal Sweetwine, 15 yards on the reception. And we do have a injured player for Taylorsville down by the 33-yard line. Looks like he was on the tackle. We wish him the best. We hate to see any players injured on this field, and hope he's able to get up as the trainers run out to the field and check him out. And you'd love to see the sportsmanship on both sides of the field as Orem is kneeling for their downed competitor.
That's definitely something you can always count on from Orem. Orem showing sportsmanship. You can also, as it seems, count on some penalties throughout the Orem games. But most of those penalties are not from unsportsmanlike conduct. Most of them are just from little mistakes made throughout the games.
And Taylorsville, the guy is able to get up and walk on off the field. Hopefully he's okay, just maybe a little stinger there. But we've got Canal Sweetwine here at quarterback. He's the backup quarterback, and he's ready to take the snap. It's going to be a run for number 4, Conrad Tautua, I believe. And that's going to be a 9-yard gain.
And Conrad definitely looking to show out tonight for senior night.
And that's going to be Conrad's 3rd carry of the game.
As time will expire in the first quarter, Your Orem Tigers 22 against the Taylorsville 3.
A Kahlua pork bowl, a hamburger, a cheeseburger, maybe a hot dog or some nachos. Even get some popcorn, cold drink, and some candy. Stop by the concessions, northwest corner of the stadium.
All right, everyone. Welcome back to our broadcast of the Orem Tigers versus the Taylorsville Warriors. We're just rotating through commentators here to make sure our voices are nice and pristine for your listening ears. And it's been a pretty one-sided match so far.
Definitely has. Orem has been shown out in this game, both on offense and defense. And as we saw in that first drive for Taylorsville, special teams with a blocked kick to give them great starting field position.
Absolutely. And I don't think we've had any, we've had some runbacks for touchdowns, but I don't think we've ever blocked a punt before like that. So some new territory being broached by this Orem team as they're getting ready to take this snap from their own 45 to start off the second quarter. And this one's going to be a handoff around the left side. Conrad Tauatua once again breaking out around the left side, and that's going to go all the way to the 30. So a very, very big run for Conrad Tauatua there.
Conrad definitely making a big impact in this play as he's getting a start for senior night, as he's had some games in this year that he's played in, but hasn't had quite as many opportunities and hasn't showed up as much. But tonight he's definitely shown up a lot for senior night.
Absolutely. That very first touchdown on the back of number 4 as Keneal Sweetwine gets ready to take this snap. This one's going to be a bubble screen to the right, and this one could go forward. This one probably going for a first down. Cole Johnson very nearly stood up, but this one looks like it will go for the first down.
Another one of the seniors looking to perform tonight.
Absolutely.
Jordan Carl making the defensive play.
And pretty much every player showing up here for senior night to start things off in this first half.
Definitely.
So it's been very distributed. Oftentimes we just see it keep going to Roger over and over and over again. But as far as I can tell, Roger's only had 1 reception so far. Very, very big one for 26 yards, but only 1. Keneal Sweetwine takes the snap. And this one's going to go right up the middle and not going for very much, maybe just about 4 yards. And Eniasi Matina on that run.
Eniasi Matina on the carry.
So this one going quite a lot through the passing game so far, I've noticed. Orem not really been stopped much on either front, but the passing game has definitely been the most lucrative thus far. And
not wrong in that statement. Orem has been looking more towards the passing play after those first few drives came from a lot of running.
Absolutely. And even with Keneal Sweetwine in the game, they are not afraid to chuck this one up. Takes the snap a little bit high, play action, looking, throws over the middle, and this one just barely through the hands of the receiver. I believe that was number 30. That one's going to be Patrick Hervey. So once again, trying to go through the air, going end zone on that one, but it's going to bring up 3rd and 7 nonetheless.
And Orem looking to get some of these big plays, some of these 20-yard gains, as Taylorsville hasn't done anything to stop them thus far.
Absolutely.
And bringing up a 3rd down.
For sure. Keneal Sweetwine still in the game. I'm kind of surprised by their decision to bring him out this early in, but you might as well let the new guy get some experience. Takes the snap. Once again, play action. Looking right. End zone. And that one's just barely going to be dropped by Eniasi Matina. And he ran about all the way to the play clock after that one. Yeah. He had some momentum going there.
And he did burn his defender. We'll just see if some of these passes get a little bit closer to the players as Orem looks to bring out the field goal team.
And that's a decision I can support. Normally, I'm all for just aggressive football, but at this point, you're up about Let me do the division subtraction. 19 points.
And definitely don't want to mess that up. Give Taylorsville a chance to come back.
And this kick is up and through. Kawa Akana putting 3 more points up on the board to make it 25-3. Only taking a little less than 2 minutes off the clock of this second quarter. So Orem thus far has scored on every single one of their possessions. So very, very well done by this Orem offense, and very well done by the defense and special teams as well. It's been an all-around game.
Orem has been showing up tonight after a tough loss against Timview, division rivals.
I would argue it's less about being in the division and more about being close, because sure, we're in the same division as Jordan, but it's not as important of a game here at Orem when it's a 30-minute drive up to them. There's just something about proximity that makes everything harder. But Orem,
That is true.
Orem taking this 6A team, Taylorsville is 6A, and showing up a little bit, making sure that their presence is still known, that they can still play some good football. And prepping for their final region game against Lehigh next week. That one is going to be in Lehigh. We will still be broadcasting. That one will be on a Wednesday due to the end of the term. That's why I actually asked around, that's why this game is on a Thursday, because they couldn't play. It would just be like too quick of a turnaround to go from playing on Friday to Wednesday. So they're trying to space it out a little bit here, which is why we're here on a Thursday night instead of a Friday. And they go for their little fakie, but Kawa Akana is not getting that one off its tee. And this one's going to be up very deep towards the Taylorsville right side. Fields it at about the 2, cutting across to the left. And that one just gang tackled in the middle of the field by Harrison Barker and Jacob Amoto. So an absolutely excellent play from the Tigers special teams once again.
More of these tackles out in the open field, looking good for Orem, as last week they couldn't do this against Timview.
Absolutely.
But
And
showing up tonight on defense and offense and special teams.
yeah, it's been pretty one-sided in terms of who's winning, but it's been pretty much of a triple threat for Orem here, as they've been able to win on all 3 sides of the ball. And getting ready to snap it. And this one's just going to be a run right up the middle. That one going for about 4 yards. Trying to get a read on the number. They've got a really bad color combination for these jerseys, if I'm going to be honest. It's a white on like a mustard yellow, or mustard yellow on white, I should say. So very difficult to read.
It is difficult to read, as we cannot say that Orem hasn't had some of those colors in the past, but currently they are looking good with their home jerseys.
Yeah.
Dark blue, royal blue.
Yeah. And taking the snap, it's going to be play action up and over the middle. This one going deep, and that one very nearly brought in by Kobe Allen.
Dropped by the receiver.
At about the 48-yard line, and he was very upset about that. He wanted that bad. That would have put him at about the 50-yard line.
He did have the separation from, I believe, number 20, JT Wirtz, another senior tonight.
Absolutely.
Looking to make an impact in this game.
For sure. And this is the time to show out. It's going to be your last home game pending the playoffs. Odds are we might have some if we continue to play like this at least. But definitely want to make things good. And this one dropping back, rolling out to the right, and that one's just going to be thrown away. That one may go for intentional grounding, as I personally didn't see very many people in the area. But it does not look like there are any flags down on the field, so that'll just take them to 4th down, and out comes the punting team
and
for Taylorsville.
Orem then again forcing a 3 and out, as Orem defense has shown up a lot in this game. Besides the penalties that they allowed to allow Taylorsville on their last drive to get down close to the end zone and get a field goal.
Absolutely. And Taylorsville just getting ready to punt this one, as very, very high snap. And they tried to get in there for a block, and that one's just going to be brought in by Filete Yongi at about the Taylorsville 45. So some excellent field position to start off with here for this Orem offense that has already shown that they don't really need that. They've scored from pretty far back.
They can drive down the whole field, and Taylorsville does nothing to stop them.
At least so far. Who knows what could happen? Who knows how the dynamics could change? This is why we watch football instead of just hearing about it later.
Never say never.
Absolutely. Oh. Sure. I think you're oh. All right, cool. And this one going to be thrown over the middle. Roger Saleapaga past the first down marker. That one going to go for about 12 yards. So some very excellent play still continuing here.
And here's some of the involvement we've been talking about for Roger, who's been a big factor in many of these games that they've played in.
Absolutely. And but now the love's getting spread around just a little bit more. It used to be kind of just the Roger show towards the beginning of the season. Lance Reynolds just chucking it up to Roger.
And Roger coming down with it because he's a big player.
Yep. Lance Reynolds takes the snap, looks left, throws deep. Asher Young in the end zone for a touchdown. And
a dot on that pass.
Yeah, just what a beautiful throw all the way through. And Asher Young, 2 guys on him, still beat them both for a fairly easy reception to make it 31-3 pending the extra point. And just what a move. What an absolute turnaround between this game and the last for these Orem Tigers. And we're just going to have to wait on this extra point. We have seen them go for a PAT before in this game, so we'll have to see if they continue with that pattern.
On to attempt the extra point.
Kawa Akana getting ready to put this one through. And this one is up. And the refs will call it good. That'll be 32-3 for the Orem Tigers. 8:39 left in the half.
Orem with a quick drive on that one, getting the deep pass to Asher in the back of the end zone for a touchdown, as we have seen Asher get some plays this year that have allowed some big gains. Not as many touchdowns, but big gains that have definitely led to Orem getting those touchdowns. And we like to see the passing spread around between Asher, Roger,
all these
Cole,
guys,
and all the other players. As you've said, it's mostly just been a Roger show for most of the year.
Yeah, so it's good to see everyone getting into it, especially because we did have at one point Roger getting injured for part of a game. So that's always something you don't want to have. Your offense getting one-dimensional, because if that one player who makes it all work falls, then you don't have much of anything. So could be the methodology behind having Keneal Sweetwine in for the second to last drive. Obviously, Lance Reynolds took it on the previous one.
Orem students looking pumped up out here tonight, as we are up by
quite a few
margin.
Points. And this one looking like it might go out the side, and it will. Flags fly. And this kick, they tried to coffin corner that. It looked like it could have bounced right there in front of the end zone, but unfortunately it bounces outside. And
bring the ball up to the 35-yard line on that penalty on the kickoff. Definitely not what you want to see. Good for starting field position for the Warriors tonight.
Absolutely. We'll see if they're able to make use of it. Obviously, on that first drive, they were given some pretty crummy field position, starting practically in the back of their own end zone. So we'll just have to see if they're able to capitalize from a bit further out.
And we'll see if Orem can stop them, as Orem has been doing that all night.
And this one getting ready to take the snap. And it looks like they're going to call that one dead before Cole Kramer could do much of anything with it. It looked like he was about to hand it off for sure.
False start on Taylorsville. We'll bring it back 5 yards for a 1st and 15.
And that's not what you want when you get good field position, which is losing it. You absolutely want to hang on to that, and especially Like, it's bad enough if it's like a tackle for loss, but if it was just fully self-inflicted, like a false start penalty, then who knows? Who knows how close they'll get to a first down this time and have to punt anyway. And this one just going to be a handoff around the left side. That one just going absolutely nowhere. About 3 Orem jerseys in the area.
Blowing up on the play.
And that one's going to go back even further to bring up second down. And Jacob Amoto, one of the Orem jerseys in there on that tackle. So clock still running off, about 8 minutes left as Taylorsville gets ready for 2nd and 20.
Orem's been shutting them down throughout this whole game and even more on this drive.
Cole Kramer takes the snap, looks for a screen, and that one could go for a few yards, and it does, for about 6 on that play to make it about 3rd and 14. So not a good situation, but a better one for sure. And if it's you, what do you think you're dialing up here on offense?
As Taylorsville has been blown up on the running play, allowing lots of lost yardage, lots of really short gains that haven't really helped them much. And through their passing game, they've kind of gone for more shorter passes. If I'm the quarterback, I'm looking to take a deep shot to one of my wide receivers that's a little bit faster and see if he can break away for the first down.
And we did see that one reception that was just dropped over the middle, and Kramer rolls left, throws deep up the side, that one going absolutely nowhere, nobody in the same zip code. And flags fly from the complete other side of the field, so we'll have to see which way this one goes. Could be a big help for Taylorsville if it ends up going their way, but it is going to be intentional grounding, but Orem will decline to bring up a long 4th down that Taylorsville probably will be forced to punt out of.
As Taylorsville does not want to risk Orem getting any more field position, which will allow another short touchdown as we saw on this last drive.
Yeah, you don't want to give up a turnover on downs here because I'm pretty sure Lance Reynolds basically threw that touchdown to Asher Young from where the line of scrimmage is right now. So absolutely don't want to give the ball to Orem in general so far, but don't want to give it to them there.
I mean, if you're cheering for Orem, you definitely want to see the ball given to Orem, but if you're cheering for Taylorsville, it's not what you want to see.
This punt is very high. It's going to drop down at about the 45, roll about to the 32 before it's stopped up there. And Orem having a little more regular field position, but as of yet, it hasn't been a problem for them to get down this field. So probably looking to make it either 35-3 or 39-3, unless they go for an extra point, unless they go for a 2-point conversion because they're crazy. But
I mean, can't really say Orem's crazy. They have shown up tonight as they did get the 2-point conversion earlier.
I don't mean a bad kind of crazy. I just mean like a fun kind of crazy. Like going for a 2-point conversion when you're up by 2 scores is crazy, and they did that, so who even knows? Keneal Sweetwine takes the snap, looks for the screen to Asher Young. This one going past the 40, and that one fighting for extra yards to about the 47-yard line. So that one going for about 15 yards on that play.
Asher showing those strong legs out here, dragging a man with him for what looked like 7 yards.
Yeah.
Which is not easy to do.
Yeah, that's an entire dude that you're taking with you. And that's not exactly that's not an easy ordeal anyways, but he stretched out for those extra yards even though he already had the first. So Orem still fighting for every yard, and that's really what makes an offense. Keneal Sweetwine with Conrad Tautua at his side. We'll have to see if this game keeps going his way. And that one handed off up the middle, but that one will be brought down behind the line of scrimmage. Flags fly in at the termination of that play.
Blown up behind the line of scrimmage for the loss.
We'll have to see if I'm pretty sure I saw someone on Taylorsville jump pretty early, so we'll have to see which way this one goes.
We will.
Face mask, and it looks like that'll be on Orem, so that'll set them pretty far back. And that seems to be Orem's only real issue so far, is sometimes the penalties come in, and it just makes life harder for you.
Definitely.
And
Orem has allowed a lot of penalties to get in the way of their normal playing as they've been demolishing this game and really not letting anything happen
Keneal Sweetwine pitch option out to Fulete Iyongi. This one going to be stopped up at about the 40. So a few yards gained on there, but nothing too substantial. And that's going to bring up a very long third down. So you've got Keneal Sweetwine out there, who we've seen he's got a cannon for an arm in previous games. Fairly accurate, especially considering his backup status. Obviously, Lance Reynolds just throws dots pretty much all day. So we'll see if they dial up something long. Drops back, steps up, rolls left, out to the sideline. That one picked up by Fulete Iyongi at about the 50, and it's taken about 3 Taylorsville jerseys to bring him down at about the 49 for Orem. So about 10 yards gained on that play.
And Fulete Iyongi showing a little bit more of that other side of his playing, as we have previously talked about him being a faster, shiftier kind of player, making some men miss.
A little more of a Debo Samuel kind of guy. We see him running end arounds and jet sweeps out of the backfield all the time.
But seeing some of that strength, as it takes more men to take him down that time.
Absolutely. Keneal Sweetwine getting ready to take this 3rd down and 5. Drops back, rolling around to the right, looking for someone on the right side, looking for Roger, but that one barely in his zip code, and that'll bring up 4th and 5, and it looks like they're going to bring out the punt team. So the first time that Orem's been stopped up, and it was a long penalty that did them in there.
And they did get to gain a few yards back, so it's not as quite far of a punt.
Absolutely.
But
this one,
I believe without that penalty, they would have the first down by now.
for sure. And that's going to bring up a 4th and 5 on, and they'll be snapping this one from the 48. Eniasi Matina getting ready to kick this one, standing on zone 40. And it looks like he's going to step around to the right and probably just try and put this one out of bounds. It bounces out at about the 20, and that's going to be picked up by, I believe, Cole Johnson. So making his mark on this game. Everyone's getting a touch on the ball seemingly today so far.
Everybody is. Seniors looking to show up tonight, as it is a big senior night for Orem in the last home game of this regular season.
Absolutely, and Orem trying to make it not the last home game overall, trying to get that home field advantage come playoff time, as important as it is, and Taylorsville trying to equalize this game a little bit here. As Kramer takes the snap, hands it off just right up the middle. That one, take a guess, stopped for about no gain.
As Orem has done that all night.
Yeah, the run game has just not been working for Taylorsville. If it's me calling the plays, which would be great, they'd win every game if I was calling the plays, obviously.
Can't be so sure about that.
Well, we try. We try. If it's me, I'm going to try and rely on the passing game. I don't know if it's just they're not confident in their passing game, but at this point, if the run isn't working, you have to try something else. Cole Kramer rolling out immediately, looking for someone, and he's just going to take it himself for about 3 yards forward. So I think he was looking for the throw on that one, because it didn't look like the run was exactly where he was trying to go there, because maybe it was just all the blue jerseys between him and the first down marker that made that look a little bit unintentional.
And Orem's had a lot of good team tackles today, getting a lot of players to swarm around the ball and not allow anything to come, as last year we saw a little less unity, as Timpview was able to make some Orem players miss. And it looks like there was a late penalty.
Late penalty. Flag must have flown in towards the Orem sideline on the end of that play, and that's gonna make another Taylorsville first down. So the first one of this drive, 3:32 left in the half for them to put something up on this board other than that one field goal from earlier. And Kramer getting ready to take this snap, and it looks like it is going to be he's gonna keep it and go forward straight into the line. No gain. And it's definitely not the inside run for Taylorsville today. That seemingly, at least for the first half so far, we can't say anything about the second. Just because we're in this booth does not grant us clairvoyance. But
And Taylorsville has been blowing up a lot on the run, so it's interesting to see them keep going for the run as they've really gotten no yards through the running play, through the running game. If I were them, I would try to set up the passing play and try to get a few more yards.
yeah, Orem's been getting away with just absolutely stacking the box here, and that one definitely going to be a false start on there. A lot of jumping around the line. False starter and offsides for sure, and that's going to be a false start on Taylorsville. So the penalty bug once again arises in this game and undoes all the gains they had from that previous penalty from Orem. And that's going to bring up second and long.
And
It's just going to be one of those days, isn't it?
yeah, we've been talking about Orem cleaning up those penalties, as we've seen a little bit better, less penalties in this quarter as in the first, but Taylorsville a few more than in the first.
Absolutely. Takes the snap, looking for the screen out to the right, and that one just stopped up, going absolutely nowhere. Kobe Allen on the reception, and Boston Hendry on the tackle. Just wrapped him up, made sure he didn't go anywhere, only going for about 4 yards. That's going to bring up third and about 9, as far as I can see, maybe a bit longer.
And Boston Hendry, another one of those seniors looking to perform tonight, but not to say he hasn't performed this whole year, as he is one of the team captains.
Absolutely, and one of the 3 Bostons on our team, notably enough. We've got Boston Salenbeck, Boston Hendry, and I believe we have a third one on here somewhere. There's so many of them you lose track. Kramer takes the snap, looking long, steps up in the pocket. He's just going to try and take it himself and slides down at about the 45-yard line, about 3 to 4 yards short of the first down. And you got to wonder, do they try and go for it here? Because at this point, you're kind of just giving the game away.
There you are.
And looks like it's going to be a timeout for the Tigers, so Taylorsville will have plenty of time to think about that decision on 4th and 5. And what do you think they're going to – all right, let's say they go for it. What are you trying to do here for Taylorsville? Like, let's say –
If I'm Taylorsville going for it, I'm definitely – if I were them, as the running play has been blown up all night, I would go for a short screen pass to the outside, or maybe just a short crosser, maybe into the middle of the field. But time is definitely running down in this first half, and Taylorsville will be looking to keep as much time on the clock as possible.
Absolutely, and I'm not necessarily seeing a punting formation so far, but it looks like they are getting into it. So seems like Taylorsville is just going to punt this one away to the Tigers, and you have to wonder, will Orem try and make something out of this minute 25 that they've been given in the half and try and make it an even tougher game? And this punt is up, and it's going to drop out of bounds at about the 30-yard line. So some fairly decent field position for Orem to start with. And I wonder, are we going to see them try and drive down the field and make something happen?
If I were Orem, they've had a lot of big plays that have allowed them to get big, quick touchdowns. But as they're up by 29, if I were them, I'd like to keep Taylorsville on their feet.
Absolutely. I'm thinking just a deep post route to Roger Saleapaga for old time's sake, you know.
Just to see one of those big plays by Roger, as we've seen throughout this whole season.
Yeah, it's been a little. And Lance Reynolds takes the snap. It looks like he is going long. This one way up there, and that one bobbled and nearly brought in by Patrick Hervey at about the 25-yard line. So they did go for the deep ball, but you gotta wonder, is Roger bringing that one down?
Is he?
I don't know. We can't say. We can't say because it didn't happen.
Can't make any predictions, but Roger does have some of those hands of NFL and college players, as we've seen out here, making some big contested
Absolutely.
catches. As we saw last week against Timpview, he made a one-hand catch in the end zone for a touchdown.
I'm remembering it. That was gorgeous. Lance
Pretty
Reynolds
play.
takes the snap and pressure immediately in his face. That one just going to be incomplete. Conrad Tauatua, the intended receiver, and that one just got blown up all the way. So a little miscommunication on Orem's offensive line brings up 3rd and 10. So you gotta wonder, are they just gonna try and get the? If it's me, I'm just trying to get the first down, keep the clock stopped. So probably probably about a 10-yard out. Towards I'm gonna take a guess and say the right side. I'm gonna just try and predict this really hard, and if I get all the details right, I'll look really cool.
Don't want to assume, but is it possibly because Roger Saliapega's lined up on the right side?
Roger Saliapaga out route about 10 yards to the right side, hurdles a man over the 50, past the 40, and there it is, folks.
And was that possibly why you predicted an out route to the right side?
I didn't see the alignment, but if I had seen that, I wouldn't have been swayed. For sure. And all right, so
Roger's
it seems
showing
that
more of that athleticism out here, hurdling men as he's done that a few times tonight.
and seems that clairvoyance is in the air tonight just a little bit. And I still can't believe that happened. That was just kind of perfect.
That was beautiful. Penalty flag did fly out at the end of the play,
And
and we'll see what that brings up.
for sure. And it looks like they will be bringing this one back after the play. And they're bringing it back to about the 37-yard line.
As the first down is no longer a first down.
You think they still go for it?
I think they do.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's still 3rd down, so it's absolutely there for it. Shame to see such an amazing play get wiped off the board. But we will just have to see what Orem goes for, as another timeout has been taken on the field. And so 56 seconds left on the clock. Do you think Orem still tries to make something of this and maybe get another field goal out of it, keep the momentum going?
I think they do, just to kind of keep the momentum, carry it into the second half, and keep Taylorsville back on the heels of their feet, as Orem's kind of run through them all night and not allow Taylorsville anything.
Absolutely. And you got to wonder, will they just try and chuck it up deep, make something happen right here, right now? Or do you think they'll try and get a 1-minute drill in here? Maybe just take it back to the practice field and try out one of their scenarios. As obviously in this game, it's not crucial that they get a touchdown on this drive, but who knows what'll happen come playoff time.
As we saw in that last play that didn't count, we saw an out route to the right side. I'm going to assume an out route to the left side.
Because Rogers lined that way?
Actually, that's not what I was thinking. But because there is more wide receiver depth on that side, and Taylorsville has allowed a little bit more on their left side.
I'm going to be a contrarian and say a crosser to Roger. Lance Reynolds takes it, throws it up deep to Filete Iyangi. This one thrown just a little bit short, and that's going to be incomplete. Filete tried to lay out and grab that one, and the punt team will come out on 4th and 10.
And that was a quick play, as Filete Iyangi kind of burned his man and got down the field, which is why Lance Reynolds took the shot but could not bring it up far enough.
Absolutely, and it seems like Filete is just a little too fast there. It's hard to chuck it about what? How far do you think that throw was? 50, 60 yards?
Maybe.
So it was an absolutely gorgeous ball, but
Filete looking kind of like Tyreek Hill out here, as
little
some
bit.
of his new quarterback struggled to make the passes.
And this ball is punted, drops down at about the 30, continuing to bounce. Very, very good bounces for this Orem team, all the way down to about the 12-yard line. And so Orem getting this one with some absolutely excellent field position.
And still showing out with some big plays on special teams, as we've seen big plays through both offense and defense for Orem. And it's good to see the whole team getting involved.
Absolutely. And Yeah, the worst kind of loss is the one on special teams because they're only out there for so long, but their role is very crucial. Despite what you may think, the special teams can absolutely lose the game for you if they're not doing their job carefully. As Kramer gets ready to take this snap, ball starting at their own 12. Bit of a low snap. This one just going to be ran right up the middle and predictably only going for about, I'm going to call that about 2 yards. So not very much happening for the Warriors here as clock continues to wind down past 20 seconds, and it looks like they're eager to just get off this field with the play clock more than the time left, and it looks like they're just eager to get out of here and talk about what just happened to their team.
And a good first half for the Orem Tigers as clock time does expire on the clock. Orem Tigers up 32-3 against the Taylorsville Warriors.
Absolutely. Don't want a 28 there for Orem. Anyone from the south is just absolutely dying as I say that. It's a little bit of a cursed score, but Orem absolutely getting out to an electric start here on senior night. We'll be back on the broadcast after halftime. That'll be in about 15 minutes. KOHS signing off on YouTube, Orem Broadcasting, and radio, 91.7 FM. I've been TJ.
I've been McCade.
And we'll see you in 15.
Welcome back to the second half of Orem's senior night game versus the Taylorsville Warriors. Orem is up 32-3. My name is Gavin. I'm back here with TJ.
And that's me.
And we're ready to get this second half going and bring you some more good football.
Absolutely. And we'll hope we'll see some good football because it's been fairly one-sided thus far. And we'll just have to see how they manage to move on, how they manage to keep the pressure on, as they'll have to.
And not much to complain about if you're Orem when you're up 29, but you can complain about these penalties. In the first quarter alone, they had 62 penalty yards on 6 penalties, which was very costly and led to Taylorsville getting their only points in this game.
Absolutely. That drive was pretty much just fueled by penalties all the way. So they'll just have to cut down on the penalties, and then they'll be playing a fairly perfect football game here.
And you love to see these seniors showing up. They've played really well throughout the game, and we've seen some of the backups come in. We saw Canal Sweetwine, the backup quarterback, get some snaps in this game.
Doing quite a bit too. He was taking like every other drive at a certain point, and it wasn't going too terribly either. So some good ball on display from Keneal Sweetwine.
Orem getting ready to kick this one off, and that one is away. It is going to the left side of the field, and it's going to be kicked off out of bounds. That is another penalty on Orem
that they don't need.
Yeah, not sure how many that is now. Too many to count at this point.
It's going to be about, I think that's 3. I think that's the third kick out of bounds thus far.
And, I think I can see what they're going to talk about coming up next week. We've got Lehigh, who, last I checked, is undefeated with 7 wins.
Whew.
And these penalties are going to take you out of that game against Lehigh. So they're going to be working on cleaning those up, but you got to focus on tonight. Put this one away. You're up 29. Keep it up.
Absolutely.
Taylorsville getting ready to take the snap. Take snap. It's just a run up, originally the middle. Running back bounces it to the left side, and he's going to get about 3 yards on that carry.
And it's pretty much just been the run game for Taylorsville thus far. Not to say that it's been exactly working, but it has pretty much just been the run game so far. So, couple pass attempts, and they didn't go their way, but I think they showed promise, but we'll just have to see.
We had one pass attempt early in the second quarter that hit a Taylorsville receiver right in the hand, and it was dropped. Taylorsville takes a snap, just a little hook route. The pass is low. It was thrown to the left side, and it hit the ground, incomplete. Brings up 3rd and 5 for Taylorsville.
And an efficient decimation of their downs from Taylorsville here. Just absolutely, they've been very good at getting to 3rd down thus far. I'd have to say, just because they seem to either always get it to 3rd down, and then they either convert or they don't. And thus far, they've pretty much been not converting. So we'll have to see if they do it here.
Taylorsville takes a snap, motion, throws it to his halfback running on the right side, and he gets probably 3 yards on that play. That'll bring up 4th down, and Orem's offense may be coming out the field. We'll see if they go for it. Nope, punting team being sent out, and we'll see Orem's receiving team come onto the field and eventually the offense.
Absolutely, and Taylorsville has been given a few opportunities to try and go for it on 4th down, and they have yet to take a single one of them. And they had a chance earlier when it was, and it is a fake. Whew, they're going for it, and that one's going to be short. Sorry, I had to take over the play-by-play.
You're fine, dude.
That one came out of nowhere.
No one expected it. Looked like the big guy got it, a bigger guy. And he's going to just be short, about 1 yard. And that Orem receiving team just swarmed him.
Absolutely.
Didn't have a chance to get it, and Orem will take over at Taylorsville's 44-yard line. And we've got Lance Reynolds running out onto the field.
Yeah, forget what I said about them not going for fakes. They not going for fourth downs. They tried, which is better, I think, than
First of the night, trying to get back in this one.
Absolutely.
Lance Reynolds in shotgun, getting ready to take the snap. It's going to be a run to the left side with number 23, and he's got some room to rumble, breaks a couple tackles, and he's going to be brought down at the 20-yard line for a gain of 24. That was number 23. Let me get you
Cohen
a name
Strickland
on that.
there. And what a run there. Just went all the way out to the outside, and it looks like we've got a referee down on that play. So that's something very new. We wish him all the best. They're the only guys out there without any padding, so very much hoping for the absolute best on this one.
And you don't see the refs get injured often, but when they are injured, usually comes down to them getting hit by a player trying to run towards the ball, or backpedaling, just falling down, rolling that ankle. Hopefully he's okay as the Orem trainers take a look at him.
Absolutely, and they've got those referees right there over the middle, so they are very much in the middle of the action. So some very just a consequence of being in the middle of everything. The run goes to one side and everyone on the other side is trying to get there as the Orem trainers helping him up.
Hopefully it's just a stinger.
Absolutely. And he is on two legs now. And he is holding that right leg a little, but he is walking off. So, wishing the absolute best for him and everything. It's a very important job. We may not like the way they do it all the time when it goes against our team, but absolutely wishing the best. And we'll just have to see this game continue here. 10 minutes 25 left on the clock.
Filete Iongi and number 50 for Orem helping the injured referee to the table to get checked out. As forgot who was on offense. Orem High comes out on offense, ready to get this drive back going. Lance Reynolds in the backfield. He's in the shotgun formation. Roger Salapaga on his left side. And he's got two receivers on his right with a running back on his right hip.
I believe that's Cole Johnson there.
Play action to Cole Johnson. Looking left, nothing going. Looking deep, and he's got a man. Just not a great play, but flags come in. Not a great throw, excuse me. As flags come in, should be a pass interference on Taylorsville, the Warriors.
Most likely. Lance Reynolds just threw a prayer out to Roger Saleapaga. I'm not sure if it was all that necessary, as he just had nothing but time in that pocket. He just stood still for quite a long moment there, and we'll have to see which way this one goes.
Still waiting on that signal. It's going to be
intentional grounding on Lance Reynolds, and that's I'm not so sure I agree with that one. Roger Saleapaga was in the area. Most likely probably wasn't getting to that ball, but he was around there. So a bit of a call going against Orem this time around.
Lance Reynolds takes the snap, hands off to Filete Iongi up the middle, and he's got back to the line of scrimmage and some more, gaining 9 yards on that play.
And that one just an absolutely beautiful run. Not exactly pretty, but quite beautiful. Just
just a low snap, which made it hard to
keep moving forward.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. And that one, he just had to fight for every yard there, and he got quite a few to bring up a shorter second down than would otherwise be necessary.
Lance Reynolds getting ready to take the snap on second and believe 6. Play action. He throws it to number
That's either 2 or 12, just given I believe that was Boston Salenbeck on the reception. And that one, very quick pass on a brief slant route to pick up the first.
Beautiful play. I've loved the play design throughout this game. And it's led to points on the board. Not much more you can ask for if you can get those penalties cleaned up, as the defense has played really well throughout tonight. The rushing attack's been great, and passing attack's been great.
Even with both players behind the line.
Lance Reynolds takes a snap. It is a quarterback
Keeper.
read.
And he's going to try and cut across the side of the field and is eventually brought down at about the 6. So very short gain on that play to bring up second down. And
Did a lot of running to get 1 yard as he crossed over the side of the field just to be brought down for a 1 yard gain.
yeah,
Fight for every yard, I guess.
I mean, it's maybe the fight could be a little better allocated, but I think he was trying to maybe bounce it around the outside and go end zone on that one. And
Lance Reynolds getting ready to take the snap. Looking to his left. He's got time.
fakes, rolls
and he's
right.
got number 10 wide open. 18. That's Cohen Strickland in for the end zone. Tiger touchdown, and that's going to make it 38-3.
Absolutely. Just a beautiful play, and that's the offensive line right there. He was looking left for so long on that one, trying to find someone open to throw to, and he spent about like 4 seconds back there before eventually looking right and finding Cole Johnson wide open. And that's just a good offensive line for you. It makes up opportunities. It gives people time to get open. It's a beautiful thing, a good offensive line.
You know, that offensive line, I'd be comfortable reading entire Webster's dictionary.
Yeah,
that kick's going to be good, bringing it to 39-3.
Yeah, you get behind that line, you could just like read The Great Gatsby, get right up your assignment for English class.
Watch a couple movies, you know. they're playing awesome tonight. Something to note is Taylorsville is a 6A school. Orem is 5A. And throughout this year, Orem is 0-2 against 6A schools, losing to Pleasant Grove and Skyridge earlier this year.
In a very, very poor fashion, very blowout games. I think we can admit it now that those just weren't fun to call at a certain point.
They were slow, but the neat part has been seeing this Orem team grow throughout the year. You saw those tough games. This third and fourth games of the year, Pleasant Grove, Skyridge, respectively. Or is that the right word?
Yeah, I think so, respectively.
Yeah.
Pleasant Grove, Skyridge and Pleasant Grove. Yeah.
Maybe I need to go to English class again.
Get a little something from rep there.
Yes. But it's good to see them playing well against the 6A team. They do have a common opponent in Jordan where Taylorsville picked up one of their 2 wins against Jordan, winning 27-20, and Orem picked up one of their 4 wins against Jordan, 53-3 or 55-3. Kickoff is off, fielded around the 10, and he's got some room to run. He'll finally be brought down around the 36-yard line, and Taylorsville will get ready to take their next drive.
And some better field position than they've had in the past on this one, so we'll have to see if that aids their offense at all. And we'll have to see what adjustments they made over halftime, as they've not had a ton of time to show off. Obviously, that first drive didn't go much of anywhere, but we'll have to see if they have anything up their sleeve, so to speak, for this Orem defense to try and catch them off guard, do something different. And if it's me, I think it's just avoid the run up the middle.
And that's the thing. That's been the struggle. Orem has made them one-dimensional. Sorry, I'm forgetting English right now. One-dimensional in this game, and they've had to go through the pass, and the pass hasn't been working either. They're just looking for something to get some footing in this game.
And it looks like might be a timeout from Taylorsville, just making sure that they have something. So we'll have to see if they have anything special dialed up that they need to take this timeout for, as they try and equalize this score from 39-3 and just try and keep it from try and keep the box score from looking a little less lonely, because you've just got that field goal, and it's just, you don't want it to be all alone with a bunch of zeros, right?
Uh-huh.
So try and balance things out at least a little bit. Show that your offense can at least do something and put some good film on tape for next week. And we'll just have to see what they manage to bring out here. And they're getting ready to take this snap.
It's just going to be a run up the middle.
And
that's going for, looks like 3 yards. Exactly what you said not to do.
And not exactly a great success from not listening to me. So
We'll see as this defense continues to play well. If they can keep this up, they struggled mightily last week against Timpview. And Timpview didn't punt until the 4th quarter in the last game.
And
Taylorsville getting ready to take that snap. Play action. He's got some pressure. Run into his right. He's got some green grass, and it's just going to be above his receiver. He had some room to run, decided to throw it over, and just a high throw.
And that, I believe, was Jack Billingsley. Dante Walton on the attempt there. And they're finally trying some of the deeper pass, because we've seen them try it. They've had a couple of long balls that showed some promise, but unfortunately, none of it's gone their way yet, of course. But there is that yet in there. So you could always just try and go for that, as Orem's defense really isn't respecting it now. They've got single high right now.
Taylorsville takes a snap, throw into the middle, and it's just going to be a high pass.
And once again, overthrown. That was, I believe, Blaze Workman on that one. And just, once again, they're trying for it, absolutely, but some overthrown balls keep them from doing it, and that's the pressure, really. Because when that offensive line collapses in, those big guys, they can just jump up and get a hand on it, so you got to throw it over the top of them. And once again, Taylorsville punt team coming out, not what you want to see for them.
Cole Kramer just hasn't been able to get comfortable in his own pocket. As Taylorsville punts this ball off, it's going to drop about the 20. Going to take some helpful bounces. Wow, and they're going to field it, or excuse me, not field it. They're going to down it at Orem's own 3-yard line. Orem has some work to do on this offense.
Absolutely.
If they want a touchdown, they got 97 yards to go.
That was an absolutely miraculous bounce. It was barreling for that end zone line, and then at the 3, it just boop, stopped. Just completely stopped. So some good luck for the Taylorsville special teams to put the Orem offense deep. We'll have to see if that changes anything.
And we'll have, Cannell Sweetwine running out onto the field to take this second drive of the 3rd quarter for Orem, starting at his own 3-yard line.
And he's got his work cut out for him. This is a tough situation he's got to navigate.
High snap. It's going to be a
keeper around the right side.
And he's going to get, looks like 2 yards on that play with a big hit at the end.
Got cut down at the legs. Getting up just fine afterwards, though. Picking up a couple of yards. And that's just a smart play right there. You're not going for... You're not even really going for the first down. You're just trying to get yourself to where you can throw a pass without being in your own end zone at this point.
2nd and 8 at their own 5-yard line. He's in shotgun with split backs on his hips, and takes a snap. Another high snap. It's going to be a run up the middle, and that's not going anywhere.
Seems to be the theme of the night. Run up the middle, just not what you want to see. I believe a helmet came off of a Taylorsville player in the middle of that gang tackle, and that'll bring up 3rd down.
3rd and 8 for Orem on their own 5-yard line. And this is the field position game that you start playing as Taylorsville with the awesome punts. If they can force a punt from Orem, they could be in great field position to get some more points on the board.
Absolutely. So they'll have to stop him here. I'm pretty sure Orem's punting if this goes to 4th down. So if they stop him here, they'll be able to get the ball back quickly.
Now Sweetline takes a snap, and he's got number 27 He'll get that first down. It looks like, yep, first down. He gets it to the 15-yard line.
Braxton Wilkerson on the reception there, all alone on the left side. And Orem manages to dig themselves out of this little hole that Taylorsville managed to get for them on that lucky bounce.
And you're starting to see a lot more of the Orem High reserves coming out on this drive. I'm not sure I see a single starting receiver. You've got Cohen Strickland lining up.
Absolutely,
Canal
Roger.
Sweetwine. It's a run up the middle, and he's got a little bit of room. He'll get about 5 yards. Didn't quite catch the number on that. Number 17.
Jacob Amoto on the just found a pretty sizable hole in that first line, but got wrapped up in the secondary. But very good fundamental football. I believe Orem may already be running out the clock at this point.
I believe so too. This quarter has flown by, and we'll see what they do. Canal Sweetwine, running back on his left hip. It's going to be a quarterback keeper, and he's going to go nowhere, getting back to that line of scrimmage, making it 3rd and 4 with 3 minutes to go in this third quarter. Your Orem Tigers are up 39-3.
And yeah, that seems to be the name of the game for Orem. Just get 3 yards per set of three plays per set of downs. So you use as much clock as physically possible, because they've gotten to third down on both of these sets of downs. And they converted the first one. We'll have to see if they do the same here.
Canal Sweetwine takes snap, hands it off to his back on his left hip. He's got a little bit of room. Comes barreling in, getting to about the 30-yard line.
And Iasi Matina picks up the first down.
Another first down for the Tigers.
And that seems to be – I wonder if this is intentional or if it's just a lucky coincidence, but they've gotten – every single play out of both of these sets of downs that they've had so far, and they've pretty much just been running it, getting as much of the clock off as possible. They've gone about 30 yards, and they've got 6 minutes off the clock already.
Yeah,
it's been insane.
Canal Sweetwine takes snap, throwing to his left side. He's got his receiver for 5 yards. It was fumbled.
Beck Coy managed to bring it back in towards the end. We'll have to see if they call that incomplete or not.
We did just have them signal incomplete.
Unfortunate.
They'll avoid disaster with that fumble being not a fumble.
And yeah, showing some heads-up football by getting to the ball first before anyone else does. And this clock is still winding away.
Canal Sweetwine getting ready to take the snap. He's got good time, looking to his right. Ooh, fires it into traffic just off the hands of the receiver.
Beck Coy, the intended receiver, once again, and that's going to bring up third down. And they've got about 1 minute 30 left to blow in this third quarter. And just some very methodical football until these last two plays, obviously, with the two incompletions. But trying to make the passing offense work a little bit. And we'll see if they try to continue that.
Canal Sweetwine takes snap, looking right, and he's got a man.
Cole Johnson on the right side, fighting for extra yards, and he's going to get about 6. Going to make it a 4th down and about 4. So, and it looks like the punting team is already coming out. They don't have enough time to run out in the quarter, so it will be at least one more play. And Orem still up 39-3. Kind of gives the context for this entire game, really. Like if you're looking at this right now, you might think Orem's in a little bit of trouble, but not so, as the scoreboard will confirm.
And Orem High getting ready to kick this one off, and it's a fake. Not sure why they ran that, but he'll power through, running through about 3 guys.
And Eniasi Matina picks up a first down for the Orem Tigers. And what an absolutely insane play call, honestly.
Can't believe that one worked. I'm kind of in awe. There were about 3 guys trying to bring him down, and he refused to go down.
Absolutely, just fighting for every yard, even though it's 39-3, and that's going to end the third quarter. So absolutely electric football from the Tigers thus far.
And as this third quarter ends, for all you football fans, we have a 6A game going on right now. It was expected to be pretty good against Skyridge Pleasant Grove. It's all Skyridge in that game with 42-0. We've got Mountain View losing to Cedar Valley 25-7. And we've got Brighton blowing out Clearfield. Timpview is up 16-7 on Lehigh, two regional opponents for Orem. A pretty key game to watch on that one, as Lehigh will play Orem next week on Wednesday. And as this fourth quarter gets going, I'm joined with McCade, and we'll get this thing underway.
What's up?
Canal Sweetwine takes the pass, throws it to his receiver on a bubble screen, and he'll get to the 40-yard line.
Pass to number 81, Jackson Sanders. Gain of about 20 on the play. Good gain on that play. And we'll see what Orem does in this fourth quarter as they're up 39-3.
First and 10 from the Taylorsville 40.
As Canal Sweetwine lines up to take the snap in shotgun. He'll take it, he'll hand it off immediately to number 33 as he breaks away and gets tripped up right at the 15-yard line after a big play. Almost made it to the end zone if he had gotten past that guy. Big play by number 33, Hadley Williams.
You're starting to see some of even more reserves. Not sure we've called many of these names throughout the year, but they're doing their jobs. They're playing
good to see
well.
him out here. Canal Sweetwine lines up in shotgun, trips on his left side, and he'll take the snap, and he'll keep it, and he'll run around left side, gets tripped up right behind the line of scrimmage, loss of about 1 yard. I don't think he saw that man coming up behind him.
I think that might have been a broken play, just maybe a miscommunication between the quarterback and the halfback, as Canal Sweetwine was not ready to run that ball. Tried to improvise a little bit.
I don't think he was. And his offensive lineman didn't give him much time to get out of the pocket and really make anything of the play.
Kind of the first time tonight the offensive line has struggled to get into that second line of that defense.
Canal Sweetwine lines up in shotgun, split back formation, as there is a timeout called on the field.
Timeout on the field. This timeout charged to the Tigers.
Taken by Orem Tigers. What do you think they're going to be talking about in this huddle?
You know, I think they're just trying to give their reserves some experience. As you never know in the playoffs who's going to get hurt. Hopefully no one, but you have to be ready. And speaking of the playoffs,
always,
we've got 2 weeks. Playoffs kick off on October 21st. Orem right now looking like they will host the home game, as high school football seeding is done by an RPI, a formula of your win record, your opponent's win record, and your opponent's win record, all thrown into a formula. Orem right now is seeded 11th out of 24, I believe.
Canal Sweetwine takes a snap in shotgun, hands it off quickly to number 23, running to the right side, trying to get past the line of scrimmage, and it looks like he just made it past the line of scrimmage as he was tackled. Number 23, Cohen Strickland on that play.
Cohen Strickland on the carry.
And Orem, they drove it down the field very well, but now they've kind of gotten stuck here inside the red zone. What do you think they're going to do in these next few plays to get some better field positioning, maybe get a touchdown?
You know, I am going to do a little play action, try and get those linebackers to bite, and just a little throw over the middle.
Canal Sweetwine takes the snap, throws it deep into the end zone for number 18, Cole Johnson, and he comes down with the catch for a touchdown.
What a catch from that kid.
Moss is the defender. And I think there's a reason why it's called Moss's, as Randy Moss was one of the best wide receivers of all time.
Just goes right over the guy. And what a throw from Sweetwine as he was getting leveled as he threw that ball. Beautiful throw, only where his receiver could get it. Your Orem Tigers are up 45-3 with 9 minutes to go in this fourth quarter.
And great play by Cole Johnson, the senior tonight, showing up for senior night here. Honestly, I don't know what else to say about that play besides beauty.
And we got the kick is going to be blocked by, I almost said Timpanogos. Excuse me, Taylorsville, keeping it 45-3.
And honestly, I don't even know if Orem needed that PAT.
They obviously didn't need it. You never want to see miscues.
You don't ever want to see that as they're getting ready for the playoffs. And this next game against a division team, Lehigh.
Yes, Lehigh right now is down against Timpview in their third quarter. Timpview is up 16-7. And Lehigh, as Orem will face them, is undefeated at the moment, 8-0. But Timpview has them not on the ropes, still a close game. But Timpview is a tough opponent, and we'll see if Lehigh can come back.
Timpview is a tough opponent, as we saw last week, as Orem took a rough loss to them, 62-42. Quite a high-scoring game overall. I know we were hoping for a little bit of a higher score from the Orem Tigers. But can't always win every game.
Can't win them all. Another development, just division-wise, we have Jordan Alta absolutely crushing Jordan, 56-0. Orem beat Alta for their homecoming game, 21-7, 2 weeks ago.
Number 22 for Orem kicks off and fields it at the 8-yard line. He'll take it up, showing a little bit of speed, getting to the outside, breaking past a lot of players, and it will be the kicker that will take him down at the 50-yard line. Good tackle by Kawa Akuna on that play, but great return for
Taylorsville. Yes. And, you know, this is where you start to see the grit of your team. When you're down 42, you want to see how these guys continue to play. As their season is coming to an end, you never like to see a tough season, as Taylorsville will most likely drop to 2-7. But they're playing with some heart, trying to keep in this one.
They are playing with some heart, and that's what you love to see out of some high school sports, as it's not always the easiest when you're losing. As we will see number 42 from Taylorsville.
He'll run that one up the middle and get about 5 yards on that play.
As Taylorsville lines up to take this snap. Shotgun formation, running back on his left hip, and 2 wide receivers to his right side. Take the snap, and he'll hand it off quickly to again the same player, as it is fumbled, recovered by the quarterback, Cole Kramer. And, you know, kind of save it from disaster there.
As Cole Kramer, good heads-up play to get that fumble recovery, as Orem would have most likely got that ball back and possibly put more points on the board, making this blowout even more of a blowout.
So a gain of about nothing on the play, or maybe 1 or 2, will bring up a 3rd and 7 for the Taylorsville Warriors. And we'll see if they can do anything. Orem kind of really hasn't let them get many first downs besides first downs from penalties. As Cole Kramer will line up in shotgun, running back on his right hip, 2 wide receivers to his right and 1 to his left. And then we'll see what he does here.
Second down.
Take the snap, and he'll drop back, looking right. He'll Pass across the middle, intercepted by Orem, number 42, and he's returning it. Just has the quarterback to beat, and it's down to the 10, 5, touchdown. Orem Tigers off the pick six.
What a beautiful play from, we actually don't have number 42 on our roster.
But it's great to see him show up tonight.
Credit that unnamed hero of this game. Or, I'm not sure if I'd call him a hero, but beautiful play. Credit to him.
Beautiful play. As we'll bring the score to 51. Orem Tigers, 3 Taylorsville Warriors with 6 minutes 45 seconds left in this fourth quarter. As number 22, Koa Akuna, lines up for the PAT. Take the snap, and they'll send it up through the field goal. Field goal is good. Extra point, making the score 52-3. And honestly, nothing better you can ask for out of Orem tonight besides penalties shaving off. But Orem has really shown up on both offense and defense and special teams as well. With that pick six, that was honestly one of the best plays of the game.
The quarterback just didn't see number 42, the linebacker, and just tried to throw just an underneath route. He read the quarterback's eyes and got on his horse, beat everyone to that end zone. And you love to see defensive touchdowns. Those guys always love those.
Defensive touchdowns, honestly, one of my favorite part of the game because defensive players are just out there hitting people, taking up hits, and to see them score and be able to celebrate a defensive win, it's really cool to see it.
Just an update around the state. Skyridge Pleasant Grove has gone final. Number 1 Skyridge beat number 8 Pleasant Grove in a blowout, 42-0. Skyridge is good.
Skyridge is good, as we lost to them a little bit ago. I think the score was like 77-7.
They killed us, and Pleasant Grove blew us out. So both teams meeting up.
Kickoff, Taylorsville gets the ball fielded about the 11-yard line as he'll take it up again, and he'll go over a man with the tackle to get it up to about the 28-yard line, sacrificing the body for a few more yards. I don't know if I would do that personally, but I mean, he's putting his heart and soul into this game, not giving up till the end of the game.
That's why I'm in the booth and not out on that field.
Same here.
I like to watch him play, but I'm not sure I could take those hits. I got them old man knees already.
Same.
I think I'd be pretty injury ridden. Love the toughness that we see from these players.
And the good sportsmanship.
Taylorsville still clawing, biting, trying to get something on the board.
Well,
something more than
switch
3.
At quarterback for number 10, Carson Kirkman. Taking the snap in shotgun, and he'll hand it off to running back number 4, breaking away, and he'll get the first down and more for about a 24-yard gain on the run for Leland Akko. And that was a good gain.
The first play I've seen throughout this game, like the first big play from Taylorsville, coming in at about 6 minutes in this fourth quarter. They've had opportunities, just haven't been able to convert, but a good run up that right side, good hole created by that offensive line.
They have had many opportunities, not been able to convert, as another handoff to number 4, and he'll get taken down after a short gain of about 2 yards. Leland Akko with the run again. And Orem showing what they've shown all night, blowing up the play. And excuse me on the quarterback substitution. It is not number 10. It is number 19, Alani Aho. He'll take the snap and shotgun. And he'll hand it off to his running back, number 4 again, for a gain of about 1 yard on this play to bring it up a 3rd and 7 for the Taylorsville Warriors. What do you think they're going to try to do to convert this late in the game?
You know, with a new quarterback, I wouldn't be surprised to see him get his first pass attempt of the game and see how he does. We'll see as Cole Kramer earlier in this game didn't have the best performance. It seems like a lot of his passes were higher than the intended receiver.
So he'll take snap and shotgun, and he'll go for his pass, and he'll get it up to the middle of the field, tight end, it looks like, for a gain of about 4 or 5 on the play, and it's not enough for a first down, as we'll bring up a 4th and 4, it looks like. 4th and 3.
And we should see this Taylorsville offense stay on the field as they're just looking for something to build on in practice this next week.
Kind of playing more for pride here now, as their timeout taken by Orem. 52 Orem Tigers to 3 Taylorsville Warriors. 3 minutes and 37 seconds left in this game.
And Taylorsville, just having kind of a nightmare year. They are 7th in the 6A region too. I believe that is last in their region. And they've got Roy coming up next week. So we'll see. Maybe they can pick up a 3rd win. Just kind of a nightmare year for these guys.
And we'll see what they can do here as Orem Tigers are setting up in defense. Taylorsville still in the huddle.
And you love to see this Orem defense get a stop here. Continue to dominate on this ball. They have not allowed Taylorsville anything throughout this game. One of the biggest storylines of this game, just the overall dominance of this Orem team over Taylorsville.
As number 19 quarterback Alani Aho lines up in shotgun, motions for number 28 tight end, and he'll take it, and he'll hand it off to the running back, and he gets blown up for a loss of 7 on the play as Taylorsville will not convert, and it will be a turnover on downs given to the Orem Tigers. And that's what we've seen all night. Orem just not letting anything through the running or passing play much, and just overall dominance by Orem team.
And we've got 3 minutes and 14 seconds left to go in this 4th quarter. We should expect Orem to run this one out and celebrate. Time to have a good time on senior night as their team has performed well.
Team has performed well. As we're coming up on 3 minutes left in the game as number 14 Keneal Sweetwine will take the snap, and he'll hand it off quickly to number 12, Boston Salenbach, for a gain of about 6 or 7 on the play. We'll bring up a 2nd and 3, and we'll see if Taylorsville will take their timeouts, as they have 2 left, but it looks at the moment as if they're not, as Orem is just going to let this clock run out as much as possible, as Keneal Sweetwine will line up in a split back formation, 2 wide receivers to his right. Motions for number 43 to go out to the left side. And he'll take the snap, hand it off quickly again to number 12, Boston Salenbach. Blown up on the play for a loss of about 4 on that play. Seeing some good sportsmanship from Taylorsville, helping Boston back up. And just seeing the mutual respect in this game is great. You don't always see that when it's a big blowout game like we have here tonight, but to see the respect from the players, it's awesome, honestly.
You love to see the guys playing with some class. They play their hearts out every game. Both team does, and some teams sometimes you don't have the advantage. It's best not to take that anger out on your opponents.
Keneal Sweetwine takes a snap in split back formation. Number 13 handoff. Number 43, and he breaks away. Just has 1 man to beat to get to the end zone, and he is diving for the pylon, and he will be out short of the end zone at about the 1 yard line as the refs are conversing. Great play by Eniasi Matina on that one, as that will bring the time down to 1 minute 16 seconds as there's a Taylorsville player injured on the field. And a few penalty flags on the field as well.
I believe that is actually a Orem player down. Not quite sure as they huddle around. Either way, we don't want to see it, and wish these guys the best.
We do wish them the best. But what do you think about that play from Eniasi Matina? He's kind of one of the backups. He's showing up a little bit in this game, getting some big plays out here.
Eniasi Matina is a two-way guy. He plays punter throughout the night. He's had some great punts. He's had a tackle, I know, that big blown-up tackle, and he's had some great runs. Just a overall athlete. He's everywhere all over the field. I was hoping he'd get that touchdown. We'll see. There were some flags on the field, so maybe there'll be a hold that'll call it back. Should love to see it. For all you fans, just a little update. Lehigh has scored against Timpview, and they have actually taken the lead with the fourth quarter left to go. End of the third, Lehigh has taken the lead 21-16 over Timpview.
And player for Taylorsville still down on the field with the trainers around him. Not what you want to see close to the end of the game, as just letting the clock run out and seeing a player injured. It's just sad to see when there's so little left in the game. But he's getting up, and he's going to be helped off the field, seeing more sportsmanship from Orem.
And this game hasn't been chippy in any way whatsoever. We've had a couple personal fouls on Orem early in this game, but I believe it was just celebration fouls rather than a taunting foul, as both teams throughout the game have played pretty clean as it comes to sportsmanship.
Taylorsville player will walk off the field under his own power. It looks to be number 78, who I do not have a name for. But he walks off under his own power, as it is a penalty which will bring the play back to a 3rd and 8 for Orem. Canale Sweetwine will take the snap in shotgun, and he'll look to pass, and he passes short right side to number 33, and he'll break pass for the first down, and gain about 15 on the play for the first down, and the time will be running down just under a minute here, about 50 seconds left, as the clock will keep running. And Orem looks like
we should see one more play in this game.
Looks like they're getting in victory formation for a quarterback kneel to let the time finish running out on this clock, as they'll get down as close as they can to the play clock being 0, as Canale Sweetwine will take the knee, and that should run out the time on this clock. And final score in this game will be Orem High Tigers 52, Taylorsville Warriors 3, as time was just about to expire, as we see the sportsmanship between the players. Players lining up to high five and show sportsmanship to the other team. And honestly, just a great game from Orem. Not really much you can ask for more.
Very complete throughout everything. Special teams even showed up, as Orem got a blocked punt early in the game, which led them to score a touchdown, their second touchdown of the game. Then they went for 2. They've really just had control throughout the game, and you'd like to see it. Orem has had 2 teams, it feels like, throughout this year. We've had the teams who have been blown out, and the teams who have done the blowing out throughout this year.
Exactly. And not always the greatest games for seeing the blowing out, but when we blow out the other teams, always fun games. Always love to see the Orem High students celebrating down in the student section, and the Orem High players just having a good time on the sideline.
And we're glad you guys joined us for senior night here at Orem. We'll hope you join us again next week on Wednesday when we play Lehigh at 7. Thanks for tuning in.
This
Have
has
a
been
good night.
McCade.
And I've been Gavin. Have a good night.